Good day, everyone, especially to my fellow educators who are watching right now. I am Claribel Dao-ayan, and today I will be discussing to you the theories of social stratification and mobility. But before I will discuss these theories, let me have a sort of review first about the definition, the basis, and the types of social stratification.
Social stratification refers to a society's categorization of its people into rankings of socioeconomic tiers based on factors like wealth, income, race, education, and power. Moreover, social stratification is a system by which society ranks categories of people in a hierarchy. In short, the basis of social stratification are the following. We have the wealth, the power, and prestige. Wealth is associated with education, income, and occupation, while power is the ability of one party to affect the behavior of another party. Prestige, on the other hand, is the distinction of reputation and how people are subjectively evaluated by others. The types of social stratification are as follows. We have the caste, class, state, and slavery. In a caste system, one's rank is determined at birth based on ascribed characteristics. In other words, it is a hereditary endogamous social group in which a person's rank and its accompanying rights and obligations are ascribed on the basis of his birth into a particular group. The characteristics of a caste system are as follows. First is the separation in matters of marriage and contact, division of labor, and the third one is hierarchy, in which one group is regarded as superior to another. Class system is a person's position that depends to a very great extent upon achievement and his ability to use to advantage the inborn characteristics and wealth that he may possess. It is categorized as poor, middle class, and rich. Another type of social stratification is the state system. It says that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. In a state system, elite owns property and has control over resources. Slavery had economic basis. In slavery, every slave has his master to whom he was subjected. The master's power over the slave was unlimited. We will now discuss the main topic of this presentation, the theories of social stratification. Functionalism, conflict theory, and symbolic interactionism. In sociology, the functionalist perspective examines how society's parts operate. According to functionalism, different aspects of society exist because they serve a needed purpose. In 1945, sociologists Kingsley Davis and Wilbert Moore published the Davis-Moore thesis, which argued that the greater the functional importance of a social role, the greater must be the reward. The theory posits that social stratification represents inherently an equal value of different work. Certain tasks in society are more valuable than others. Davis and Moore's theory of social stratification further explained that qualified people who fill those high-level positions must be rewarded more than others. Rewarding more important work with higher levels of income, prestige, and power encourages people to work harder and longer. Davis and Moore stated that, in most cases, the degree of skill required for a job determines that job's importance. They also stated that the more skill required for a job, the fewer qualified people there would be to do that job. Davis and Moore's thesis, though open for debate, was an early attempt to explain why stratification exists. The thesis states that social stratification is necessary to promote excellence, productivity, and efficiency, thus giving people something to strive for. Davis and Moore believe that the system serves society as a whole because it allows everyone to benefit to a certain extent. Another theory of social stratification is the conflict theory. As shown in the picture, the people are protesting a decision made by their university to lay off custodians and outsource the jobs to a private firm to avoid paying employee benefits. Private job agencies often pay lower hourly wages. Is the decision fair? Conflict theorists are deeply critical of social stratification, asserting that it benefits only some people, not all of society. They try to bring awareness to inequalities, such as how a rich society can have so many poor members. Many conflict theories draw on the work of Karl Marx. During the 19th century era of industrialization, Marx believed social stratification resulted from people's relationship to production. People were divided by a single line. They either owned factories or worked in them. Today, while working conditions have improved, conflict theorists believed that strained working relationship between employers and employees still exist. Capitalists own the means of production, and a system is in place to make business owners rich and keep workers poor. According to conflict theorists, the resulting stratification creates class conflict. If Marx were alive in today's economy, he would likely have argued that the recession resulted from the greed of capitalists, satisfied at the expense of working people. Another theory of social stratification is the symbolic interactionism. Symbolic interactionism is a theoretical perspective in which society is viewed as composed of symbols that people use to establish meaning, develop their views of the world, and communicate with one another. In most communities, people interact primarily with others who share the same social standing. It is precisely because of social stratification that people tend to live, work, and associate with others like themselves, people who share their same income level, educational background, or racial background, and even tastes in food, music, and clothing. The built-in system of social stratification groups people together. Another topic that I am going to discuss is the social mobility. Mobility means shift, change, and movement. The change may be of a place or from one position to another. Further, change is value-free. For example, it cannot be said that change is for good or bad. When we prefix social along with mobility, it would imply that people or individual occupying a social position move to another position or status. As defined by Barber, social mobility refers to movement, either upward or downward, between higher or lower social classes. In this sense, mobility provides the individual with more or less of the benefits which this economy and society have to offer. Social mobility can be classified as vertical mobility, horizontal mobility, and lateral mobility. Vertical mobility is the movement of individuals and groups up or down the socioeconomic scale. Those who gain in property, income, status, and position are said to be upwardly mobile, while those who move in the opposite direction are downwardly mobile. Horizontal mobility, on the other hand, is the movement of individuals and groups in similar socio-economic positions, which may be in different work situations. This may involve change in occupation or remaining in the same occupation but in a different organization, or maybe in the same organization but at a different location. Next is the lateral mobility. Lateral mobility is a geographical movement between neighborhoods, towns, or regions. In modern societies, there is a great deal of geographical mobility. Lateral mobility is often combined with vertical as well as horizontal mobility. And that ends my presentation. Thank you very much, and I hope you learned something.